back to another episode of Tube Talk.
It's nice to have you back, Kate, after
Thank
your
you.
little break.
Yes.
Gap.
Yes, it's good to be back. So, we had 2 runners last week and 1 was a winner.
So we had a 50% strike rate.
Yes, and the winner was Ferry Me Home on the Sunshine Coast.
Yes, really good win. He missed a run because they abandoned a meeting, and he had to carry a top weight of 59 kilos. So over 1,800 metres, he just still pulling a little bit hard, but he was just dominant in the end. He was too strong. It was a really good win. He should gain confidence from this. And going forward, the key for him is just relaxing a little bit more in the running, and if he does that, he's going to go quite a long way. He's going to win quite a few more races. So it was really, really pleasing win for him, and he'll run at Doomben in a few weeks' time.
Cool. And we just wanted to mention that 75% of the yearlings shares have been filled.
Yeah, which is exciting. So it's tracking really well. 3/4 of the yearlings we bought at Karaka. So there's still, I think 7 of them are now fully sold out. And most of the other ones are sort of half full or a little bit more. So there's still a few opportunities. One horse I want to talk about, I think it's very prominent, very apt, is the Piero Satella filly, Kate, that we bought, who I think is just an absolutely stunning, beautiful filly. Piero is a phenomenon. He's the hottest sire in Australasia, and he's got the favourite for the Derby on Saturday, Dragon Leap. He's had the win of the ATC Derby, the Vendy, the Oaks, so he's an outstanding sire. Lovely filly. Her mother is a half-sister of a horse called Sport that won 16 races.
Wow.
And multiple group winner, and a group 2 winner called Seeker, so it's a really good pedigree. And he's being trained by Trent Buston and Natalie Young, who won the Blue Diamond last week with Tagaloa, so they're flying. So I just think she's a stunner, so have a look at her, and she'll obviously race for huge money in Melbourne, and get involved. Give me a call. I love the filly, so I just wanted to mention her.
Cool.
With the Derby coming up.
Yeah. Then we're getting straight into this week. So starting on Friday in Awapuni, in race 1 we have Bella Sorella.
Fresh up for this campaign. She had a couple of starts to 2-year-old, she had 4th, really good, nice run first up, and then she just needed a break. She was ready for a break when she had a second run. He's had a couple of jump outs coming in. The race is 1,200 metres. It's going to be a little bit short of her best, and I think she's going to need it, but she's got a nice barrier draw which we'll try and use with Robbie Hannum in the saddle, and hopefully look to settle in the first 3 or 4. If she runs in the first 5, I think it's a good run fresh up, because I think she's quite a gross filly, and by that I mean she carries a bit of condition, and the more racing she has, the better she's going to be. So it's just a kick-off point for her, and a top 5 finish, I think it will be a really good start to her prep, and she'll improve a lot for the run. Cool.
Then on Saturday at Ellerslie on Derby Day, we have 5 runners.
We do.
Starting in race 2 with Starry Beale.
We expect him to go really, really well in the Avondale Cup last start, and he was just flat. He just put him on one of those runs, which he occasionally does, and he tends to do them at Ellerslie as well, where he sort of just does nothing. That was after a very good win the start before. So his work's been really good. We've put the blinkers back on him, which he won the Dunstan Stars final at Ellerslie in 1st January last year. So those go back on, and I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him turn his work around. His track work's been excellent. Enigma last start, but I do expect him to bounce back, and I think he's a very good winning chance.
Cool. Then in race 4 we have Ship Shape and Thread the Needle.
In a race that we're sponsoring.
Woo!
So both horses in good form. They've both won 2 of their last 3 starts, but they're rising up in grade. So they've gone maiden 65, 72 grade. So they're going up in grade quite quickly, and that's always tough. And they've both struck a very strong field. So talking about Ship Shape first, she's got barrier 9, which doesn't really suit her because she's an on-pace runner. She likes to lead, so she's going to have to do a bit of work to get across. And there's a couple of other horses which can go very hard in the race. So I think her chances will be determined by how hard she needs to work to get across, and then what kind of speed they go. If they're going really hard and she's worked hard, it'll be tough for her. But if she can get across without doing too much work and be in the first 2 or 3 in the running with cover or in front and set a nice tempo, then she'll kick well. So a lot for her, I think, is to do with the first few 100 metres and how they run the race. Thread the Needle's got a better barrier draw. She's got 5. She's probably more of a 1400 metre horse and even a miler, but we've freshened her for this, and so she's coming in fresh up, and she's likely to back up next week in a 1400 metre race. Now, she should get quite a nice run from barrier 5. She should be able to just slot in, I think, probably 4th, 5th or 6th. And if they actually go hard, it'll suit her because she's a 1400 metre horse. So they've both sort of got different strings to their bow, but they are both up in class. If the races run to suit both of them, they'll run far better than their odds. They're both 20 to 1. They'll run far better than their odds. But their races are very much set by how the tempo will be. Cool. But great to have them both in, and if things go their way, they can both run in the first 3.
Then in race 10, we have Rip 'em Up and Hasbro.
Another double header.
Yes.
So Rip 'em Up, very progressive mare, very good stayer. She is better left-handed rather than right, and we are going right-handed. We really wanted to draw a barrier with her, and we didn't. She's drawn out wide. She's come into barrier 10 so far, but it's still wide. She just tends to sort of lay out a bit right-handed if she hasn't got anything outside. So she's probably going to end up going back in the race, hopefully relaxing. And if she can certainly win the race, but the barrier is against her. Last race track will probably be very hard. I would have preferred if it was an earlier race. There's a little bit of give in the track, but she is a smart horse. So I'm making a couple of excuses for her, but she's smart enough to win the race. Hasbro is going to end up coming from barrier 1. Ignore his last run. He won 2 starts ago over a mile. Last start it was just a very poor ride over ground for the first time this preparation, and the jockey started to go far too hard for too long. From barrier 1 he should be able to get a much nicer sit. Handy, he might end up leading, he might end up in the trail 3rd or 4th or somewhere like that. I think he'll be somewhere around there. So he should get a much better run, and he's got Taiki and Ageno back on, claiming 2 kilos, who won them 2 starts ago, and he's over the odds.
Yeah. Then at Doonbin on Saturday, in race 2 we have Rakik.
Dropping back from 2200 metres to 2000 metres, he's won his last 2 races in a row. Smallish field, Matt McGilvray on board. He's an excellent winning chance. He's going really well. The dropping back in distance shouldn't be too much of a problem. Can win, going really well.
Awesome. Then finally at the Gold Coast on Saturday in race 8 we have Sail.
So Sail's a horse that just missed out in a couple of runs. He's been balloted out and hasn't made fields, and so this is his first run for 4 weeks, but he's going, I think the 1800 metre suits, he's first on the ballot, so he should get a run. The 1800 metre suits, he's going well. As long as he makes the field from barrier 7, I think he's going to be right in the finish. I think the distance suits, I'm really looking forward to seeing him race. We've just got to get in the field, and I think he'll be over the odds.
Cool. Then now we're going to discuss the Derby picks.
Yes.
So
shall I give my 3 Derby picks, Kate, or do you want to give them out?
You can give them.
Okay. So first, I've gone for in the Derby Dragon Leap. I just think he showed so much class when he won the Avondale Guineas off an interrupted preparation. The one concern is how much hard racing he's had going into a race like the Derby, which is 1.5 miles. So there is that question mark, but being by Piero, he should have no problem staying the distance. The barrier draw is awkward, but he just looks like he is an absolute class animal. And so for those reasons, I have put him on top.
Yeah.
I've put a roughie in for second, put in a horse called Reggie Wood. He's by Redwood, and his 2 wins that he's had in a row, he just looks like a horse that's an outstanding star in the making, that will love 1.5 miles. And I just think when other horses on the corner are starting to go, ooh, this is a bit too far for me, he's just going to be coming into his own, and he could be and I think he's a big smoky in the race, and I think he'll run out a really strong 2400 metres. So he's my second pick. Third, I've gone for Scorps. Scorps, I don't think will have any problem with the distance. He won the Salver over 2100 metres on the track. He's got quite a bit of class. He's got a good barrier draw. I think he'll run the 2400 metres right out. I think he'll be handy the whole way, and he'll make it a staying test. So he's my third pick. And my fourth pick is the second favourite, is the filly To Illicit. And I know a lot of people have got her on top, and she could well win the race. I just wonder whether she's actually going to run out the 2400 metres, and for that reason I'll put her in for fourth, but I'll probably be wrong, and she'll probably run it out and finish first or second. But she won really well last time, but she was never any pressure put on it. It wasn't a pressure race, and the Derby's going to be a pressure race. That's why I've opted to put her in fourth place, and we'll see whether I'm right or if I'm out of money come Derby time on Saturday.
Yes, and then bet of the week.
Yes.
Our bet of the week is Starry Beale.
We've gone for one of our own.
Yes.
Oh, she opened up at $5. He's out to $6.50. I think if he runs up to the way he's been working, and you ignore his last start, I think he's a huge chance in the race, and I think he's well over the odds. So Starry Beale is our bet of the week.
Yes.
And we're looking for him to overturn his last start and give us a great start to Derby Day.
Yes. So that is Tube Talk for this week.
Thanks, Kate, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Over them as they come for home, just a length and a half between them. Here they come. Valmur, De Koning, they go to Special Light. Starry Beale's about to probe through for the gap, one off, and Caballero the grey down the outside. Valmur goes to De Koning, Starry Beale, Caballero down the outside, Special Light still back on the inside. Valmur, Starry Beale comes strongly. Valmur, Starry Beale in the Putawaki Trust Cup. Valmur, Starry Beale, the Go Racing team get the cup.